Most people think wealth starts with money. Rich people know wealth begins in the mind long before a single dollar appears. The biggest advantage wealthy people have isn't their income, education, or connections. It's a psychological strategy they use every single day that the average person never learns. While the average person wakes up thinking about surviving today, a wealthy person wakes up thinking about building tomorrow. Poor people focus on short-term comfort. Rich people focus on long-term leverage. And here's the truth that changes everything. Money doesn't come to the smartest people. It comes to the people who wait and build with intention. There is a silent mental rule that wealthy people live by. And once you understand it, your life changes permanently. The psychology trick rich people use every day is simple. They play the long game while everyone else plays the short one. They delay the feeling of winning now, so they can win permanently later. They sacrifice today's dopamine for tomorrow's dominance. That's the difference between almost wealthy and actually wealthy. Everyone wants success fast. Rich people build systems that compound slowly. Everyone wants the reward without the process. Rich people fall in love with the process, so the reward becomes inevitable. Money is never the starting point. Mindset is the seed. Discipline is the soil. And consistency is the sunlight. And the fastest way to change your mindset is to change what you focus on daily. Because whatever you focus on expands. The average person focuses on bills, stress, and problems. Rich people focus on opportunities, leverage, and compounding. It's not magic, it's psychology. So let's break down the first powerful shift. Right now, you are using the same mental energy as wealthy people. You're just directing it differently. They use their minds to create assets. You might be using yours to maintain survival. It's not your fault. Most people were raised on fear and limitation instead of abundance and strategy. But the moment you decide to switch from reaction to creation, your life moves instantly in a new direction. That's where the investments begin. Not financial ones, psychological ones. The first investment rich people make every day is what they do with their attention. Where attention goes, energy flows and results grow. Rich people invest their attention into building assets, not maintaining distractions. The average person spends hours scrolling entertainment that creates nothing. Rich people use those same hours learning, building, designing, creating, and planning. They don't chase relaxation. They earn it through momentum. The second investment wealthy people make is in time. They treat time like currency, not like something limitless. Rich people invest time into activities that pay them back. Poor people invest time into activities that drain them. Rich people track time like money. Poor people waste time like oxygen. If you knew your minutes determine your future net worth, you would guard them with your life. The third investment wealthy people make is mental discipline. The inner war is won long before the outer winds show up. Rich people invest discipline daily, even when nobody is watching. They do the hard things without needing motivation. Poor people wait until they feel like it. Rich people act regardless of how they feel. The fourth investment rich people make is into knowledge. Education doesn't end when school ends. School is where true learning begins. Rich people invest in skill acquisition. Skills turn into cash flow because value is the future currency. Poor people learn once and repeat what they know for decades. Rich people never stop expanding what they're capable of doing. The fifth investment wealthy people make is into relationships. They know environment shapes destiny. Rich people invest in people who elevate their thinking. Poor people stay surrounded by people who normalize mediocrity. Show me your circle, and I will show you your bank account. Association builds identity. And here's the psychological twist that most people will never understand. Rich people don't think about money emotionally. They think about it strategically. Poor people see money as something to spend. Rich people see money as something to multiply. They treat every dollar like a soldier. Its mission is to bring back more soldiers. The average person trades time for money. Rich people trade ideas and ownership for freedom. The average person works for money until they die. Rich people build systems that work for them until they sleep. Money doesn't come to people who want it. Money comes to people who know what to do with it. And the reason wealthy people always seem calm is because they know time and compounding are already on their side. There is no rush, because momentum has already been created. Every single day they apply the same psychological trick. They choose decisions that their future self will thank them for. The average person chooses based on feelings. The successful person chooses based on outcomes. You are one decision away from a completely different life. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is a pattern, not a miracle. If you change the pattern, your income changes. If you change your income, your lifestyle changes. If you change your lifestyle, your identity changes. If you change your identity, your future changes. Everything starts inside. Wealth is built quietly in the mind before it's seen loudly in reality. And if you're wondering whether it's too late for you, the answer is absolutely not. It's only too late when you stop trying. And it's only impossible when you stop believing. Rich people were not born with different brains. They were born into different beliefs. You can rewrite your beliefs starting today. And the next investment is the one that flips everything upside down. Because once you understand it, money will never feel out of reach again. When you begin to understand how the mind shapes your financial destiny, everything else becomes easier. Wealth stops feeling like luck and starts feeling like math, psychology, and decisions repeated daily. The difference between rich and poor has never been access. It has always been awareness. Wealthy people don't wait for opportunity. They build it quietly before anyone else notices there's something worth chasing. The average person lives in reaction mode, responding to life as it happens. Rich people live in creation mode, designing the future before the world catches up. Here's the real psychology trick wealthy people use every day. They don't set goals, they build systems. Goals create pressure. Systems create consistency. Most people set a goal, get motivated for a week, then fall apart. Rich people create a system that works even when they're tired, busy, or uninspired. Systems produce results even in your worst seasons. Motivation can't do that. The psychology of the wealthy is built around compounding. Not just financial compounding, habit compounding, relationship compounding, skill compounding. Small actions multiplied across time become unstoppable. Every big result is just a small result compounded repeatedly. And that brings us to the sixth investment wealthy people make. The one that separates the dreamers from the doers. Rich people invest in systems, not intensity. They don't sprint, they build engines. The average person works hard once in a while and wonders why nothing changes. Rich people work consistently and let time amplify the output. Intensity burns out, systems scale. Consistency will always outperform talent. Talent without discipline becomes wasted potential. The seventh investment wealthy people make is into delayed gratification. The ability to wait is one of the strongest forms of power. Rich people invest in the long-term payoff instead of the short-term high. They resist the urge to feel successful instantly so they can become successful permanently. Poor people want the reward now. New car, new phone, new clothes, new lifestyle. Rich people delay the reward until the system pays for it. Poor people show success to feel good. Rich people build success so they never have to pretend. You can't become wealthy if you need proof before you commit. You commit first, then the proof shows up. The eighth investment wealthy people make is into ownership, because ownership is the gateway to freedom. Rich people invest in owning assets instead of renting their life. Poor people own liabilities and rent their time. Ownership is leverage. Leverage is acceleration. Any money you don't control is temporary. Any asset you own is permanent. Poor people want things that lose value over time. Rich people want things that gain value while they sleep. The ninth investment wealthy people make is into decision making. Because making fast and confident decisions is a wealth skill. Rich people invest in clarity. Poor people stay stuck because they wait for perfect certainty. The wealthy don't fear mistakes. They fear stagnation. Movement creates information, and information creates advantage. Indecision costs more than wrong decisions. Time lost is opportunity gone. The 10th investment wealthy people make is into emotional control, because nothing destroys potential faster than emotional chaos. Rich people invest in emotional discipline. They master patience, focus, and self-regulation. Poor people make decisions when they're emotional. Rich people make decisions when they're strategic. When fear controls you, money controls you. When discipline controls you, money follows you. Most people never build wealth because they burn their future for comfort today. Comfort is the most expensive addiction there is. Comfort keeps you average. Discomfort turns you unstoppable. Everything you want is just outside your comfort zone. Everything you fear is inside your comfort zone. The wealthy understand something that most people never realize. The price of results is always paid up front. You pay in discipline before you earn in freedom. You pay in consistency before you earn in luxury. Poor people complain about the cost of hard work. Rich people complain about the cost of staying the same. You either sacrifice for success or you sacrifice success. There is no middle ground. There never has been. Once you master delayed gratification, everything changes. The future becomes predictable, momentum becomes automatic, traction becomes inevitable, and soon the psychological trick becomes your identity. You stop trying to become wealthy, you simply live in alignment with wealth. The world begins to respond to your new standard. People treat you according to the value you project. You stop chasing opportunities and opportunities start chasing you. Because wealth attracts wealth, growth attracts growth. People feel when you are becoming something bigger than your past. Success has a frequency. And when your mind changes, your life has no choice but to follow. Nothing changes until your mind changes. But when your mind changes, everything changes permanently. You are not waiting for a miracle. You are waiting for alignment. Every day, wealthy people apply the same mindset. Make decisions based on where you are going, not where you are standing. Poor people choose based on feelings from the present. Rich people choose based on the vision of the future. Long term always wins over short term. High standards always win over low standards. The trick is consistency. The secret is compounding. You don't need more time, you need more direction, you don't need more motivation, you need more structure, you don't need more luck, you need more ownership. And now that you understand the psychological foundation, we move into the part that transforms mindset into tangible wealth. Now that the mental foundations are set, the next step is where wealthy thinking becomes real, measurable acceleration. This is the stage most people never reach, because it requires thinking beyond effort and into multiplication. The poor and middle class believe hard work is the key to wealth. Rich people understand that leverage is the true engine of freedom. Hard work alone creates exhaustion. Leverage creates expansion. You will never become wealthy trading hours for money. There are not enough hours in a lifetime to reach financial freedom through labor alone. At some point, your body gets tired, but money never gets tired. Wealthy people use leverage to multiply their time, their skills, and their resources. They tap into systems that work whether they show up or not. Leverage is the difference between a worker and a builder, between income and wealth. The average person says, "I can't afford it." The wealthy ask, "How can I make it pay for itself?" That one change in language opens the door to strategy. There are 4 forms of leverage the wealthy use daily: people, capital, technology, and media. The average person uses none intentionally. The wealthy use all 4 relentlessly, and that leads us into the next crucial investment the wealthy make consistently: the investment that multiplies time. Rich people invest in leverage. They design systems where their effort is multiplied instead of replaced. Poor people believe doing everything themselves is strength. Rich people believe doing everything yourself is a limitation. If you don't learn to delegate, automate, or outsource, you trap your future inside your own schedule. The 12th investment wealthy people make is into scalable skills, because scaling is the difference between addition and multiplication. Rich people invest in skills that scale, skills that can be duplicated without additional hours. Sales, branding, leadership, storytelling, investing, and digital distribution. Poor people learn skills that end when the shift ends. Rich people learn skills that produce returns forever. If a skill cannot multiply without your presence, it will never lead to freedom. The 13th investment wealthy people make is into money that generates more money. They don't save for safety. They invest for growth. Rich people invest in assets that compound automatically. Stocks, index funds, real estate, businesses, digital products, licensing, and intellectual property. Poor people save money and watch inflation eat it. Rich people multiply money and watch compounding explode it. Money sitting still is losing value. Money moving intelligently is unstoppable. Every dollar you invest is a soldier in the field, working on your behalf long after you stop thinking about it. The 14th investment rich people make is into learning from failure, because failure is not the opposite of success, it's the path to it. Rich people invest in feedback and iteration. They study what didn't work and adjust until it does. Poor people quit when results don't show immediately. Rich people refine until results have no choice but to show. The faster you fail, the faster you learn. The faster you learn, the faster you scale. The 15th investment wealthy people make is into removing themselves from dependency. Because dependence is the enemy of wealth. Rich people invest in independence, especially financial independence. They own their income streams instead of renting them. If one job or one client can destroy your life, you are owned, not free. Rich people build multiple streams to eliminate vulnerability. Poor people depend on one stream and call it stability. There is nothing stable about depending on a single source of income. Real stability is diversification. The 16th investment wealthy people make is into automation. Because systems that run without your effort are the foundation of freedom. Rich people invest in automation that replaces manual tasks. Technology works 24 hours a day with no salary, no complaints, no tiredness, and no breaks. Poor people say they don't trust automation. Rich people trust math and efficiency. Automation removes friction. Friction kills momentum. The 17th investment wealthy people make is into distribution. Because the world responds to visibility, not talent. Rich people invest in building an audience and distribution channels. You cannot be paid if nobody knows you exist. Poor people wait for opportunities. Rich people create demand. The digital world rewards those who understand attention. Attention is the new currency. One message can reach millions. One product can scale infinitely. The 18th investment wealthy people make is into brand. Because brand multiplies trust and trust multiplies revenue. Rich people invest in reputation more than appearance. Poor people want to look rich instead of becoming rich. Brand is the ability to sell without selling. It is the silent force that attracts opportunities without asking. When people trust you, they pay you. When they trust you deeply, they pay you repeatedly. And this is where the psychological trick becomes almost unfair. Because every small decision compounds into enormous advantage. Leveraged action beats massive effort. Ownership beats wages. Multiplication beats addition. Systems beat motivation. And once leverage kicks in, wealth accelerates exponentially, not linearly. It grows quietly, then suddenly. At first nothing happens. Then everything happens. First the world ignores you. Then it asks how you did it. People call you lucky, but they never saw the structure behind the result. They didn't see the sacrifice, they didn't see the discipline, they didn't see the nights without comfort, they didn't see the years without applause. But that's the psychology trick rich people use every day. They are building silently, while others are celebrating loudly. They are planting seeds while others are picking fruit. They are preparing for a future others don't believe will come. Purpose creates endurance. Endurance creates achievement. People without purpose burn out. People with purpose burn through barriers. The 24th investment wealthy people make is into legacy. They build beyond themselves. Rich people invest in generational transformation. They don't just accumulate wealth, they transfer wisdom. Poor people try to look rich in this lifetime. Rich people build so their great-grandchildren never start from zero again. Legacy is the final multiplier. It is wealth that continues when you stop. The 25th investment wealthy people make is into gratitude and perspective, because you cannot attract more while resenting what you have. Rich people invest in appreciation. They stay grounded while rising. Poor people complain about problems. Rich people extract lessons from them. Gratitude protects the mind from scarcity. Perspective protects the heart from arrogance. You cannot build wealth from bitterness, only from clarity and belief. And here's the truth that most people never realize. You are never competing with other people. You are always competing with the version of yourself that settles, the version that gives up, hesitates, and waits. You defeat that version by building momentum. Momentum comes from daily decisions, not dramatic moments. The wealthy win small every day, and those small wins compound into unstoppable power. There is no secret formula. There is only strategy and discipline. You don't need permission. You need commitment. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be consistent. You don't need more time. You need more direction. You don't need more resources. You need more resourcefulness. Right now, there is a version of your life waiting for you that is bigger than anything you've imagined. It is not fantasy. It is physics and psychology. If you take control of your attention, your time, your habits, and your identity, nothing can stop what comes next. You are one system away from breakthrough. You are one investment away from acceleration. You are one decision away from a new chapter, and one chapter away from a new life. Most people will watch a video like this and get inspired for 5 minutes. The wealthy will build a plan and execute for 5 years. That is the real separation. That is the real psychology. This journey isn't about money. It's about transformation. Money is just a scoreboard. Mindset is the game. And the psychology trick rich people use every day is simple. Think long, act daily, compound forever. Believe in the future before the world sees it, and the future will belong to you. If you're ready to change your life, start today. If you're ready to build instead of wait, start now. Your story is not finished. It's barely beginning. The next chapter is yours to write. The pen is already in your hands. Welcome to the mindset of the wealthy. Welcome to the psychology of freedom. And welcome to the life you are about to build. Because nothing can stop a mind that refuses to quit.